This week's episode is brought to you by Fairy Godmother Travel, the official travel agency of Communicore Weekly. Make sure to email CommunicoreWeekly at fairygodmothertravel.com to book your Disney vacation today. Again, visit fairygodmothertravel.com.
Communicore Weekly, wanna get geeky, bob around boats and five-legged goats. Communicore Weekly, you might get some freaky. Waited all week, I'm sure you already know this. Greatest online show. Welcome to season 3.
Hello, and welcome to Communicore Weekly, the greatest online show and home of the world's first pair of independently born, identical twins. I'm George.
And I'm Jeff. And you know what time it almost is, George?
I was going to go with a very obscure time, the time reference, more stay in the time, but figured that might be
nobody else would have got that but you and I?
Probably. Maybe a few of our the cadets.
A handful, but not many, I'm sure.
Yeah, anyway, so what time is it?
It's almost time for our 150th episode.
Oh, that's right.
That's a lot of episodes.
That's right, because this is episode 149.
It is. So what we want you guys to do is give us a call on the Communicore Weekly Goat line and leave us a voicemail pretty much about anything, because we're going to play a lot of voicemails on our 150th episode spectacular. I'm calling it a spectacular now because if I keep saying that, then maybe I'll convince myself and you guys that it is actually spectacular. But I think they should call in.
Okay, so people should call 424-785-4628. That's 424-785-GOAT. Go ahead and pause right now and then call us. We'll wait for you. We'll be right when you get back, and leave us a message about how Communicore Weekly has changed your life.
Or
did we help you get that job?
Maybe we did.
Give you the courage to ask that girl out to the prom?
Oh, and she said yes.
And she said yes.
Aren't we swell gentlemen?
I mean, we're here for you. We're your Communicore wingmen.
We are Communicore wingmen.
Yeah.
I like that.
Not as domineering as the Communicore overlords.
Exactly. But we do like overlords as well. But yeah, please give us a call and let us know your thoughts about the show, or just calls about anything. We don't care. We're just going to play a bunch of voicemails on the 150th episode. So again, that number is 424-785-4628. So give us a call and we'll talk to you guys soon.
It's time for Disney History.
The Main Street Market House was an opening day shop for the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. Now, it was sponsored by Smuckers until 1993, according to the incomparable website Widen Your World, which if you have not checked out, when you get home, check out, because it's great. If you're driving, don't Google it while you're driving, that's bad. If you're the passenger, go right ahead. Anyway, in 1997, the shop was redesigned completely. In 2007, the space was taken over by the Aravis brothers for the Crystal Arch store. Now, originally, the Crystal Arch store was in the seating area of the Main Street Bakery.
Yeah, so as far as we can tell, based on the description in the various Birnbaum travel guides, Smuckers took over the sponsorship of the Yankee Trader in Liberty Square by 1990.
Wait, can we time out for 1 second? Yankee Trader, that's where Memento Mori is now, right?
Exactly. I was just about to say that until you did a timeout. That's
Sorry,
okay.
I rudely interrupted what you were about to say. Carry on.
Yeah, so Smuckers took over the sponsorship of that shop in 1990. By 1986, Birnbaum's guide has the last mention of the Main Street Market House selling Smuckers jellies and jams. And we don't have any more exact dates for the sponsorships of the store other than that. But if you do, please let us know. Call the Goat line and let us know if you know when the sponsorships may have changed, because it's driving me crazy.
Communicore Weekly is making our listeners do our homework since 2012. So let's take a step back in time with the help of a 1976 Walt WDW Vacationland magazine. Now, it was a 2-page article that shared some images and discusses, what you could expect to find in the shop. And honestly, though, can you imagine buying jelly to take home from your Walt Disney World vacation? I mean, that is a swell gift for all your friends. Because every time I go to Walt Disney World, I buy jelly for George.
I buy jelly and jam. Oh, totally.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Okay. All right, so the article starts with, put them cucumber slices on your face to bloom up your complexion and rub a little kerosene on your hair to make it shine. Little Communicore Weekly disclaimer: we are not telling you to do this. This is from the article.
We are not responsible for any injuries that occur for cucumbers on your face and kerosene in your hair.
Kerosene in your hair. Okay, so this and other sage advice, such as using a fried onion poultice to quell a chest cold, awaits visitors who eavesdrop on the party line of the crank-style telephones in the Market House, which is the turn-of-the-century general store on Main Street.
Now, it was modeled after the country emporiums of the 1890s, and the Market House offers the Magic Kingdom guests a pleasantly nostalgic taste of authentic Americana on the sweet side. Now, clustered around a pot-bellied stove, not a pot-bellied pig, but a pot-bellied stove, kind of like the ones that Granddad might have stoked during boyhood, endless wooden casts of goodies await Market House visitors.
So you've got overflowing barrels of freshly packed cookies, red and white striped peppermint sticks, sassafras and spearmint drops, chewy black licorice strings, cheese-flavored crackers, and crunchy salted pretzels, as well as bulging boxes of saltwater taffy and bags of sugar-sweet rock candy.
Now, if all of this is not enough to put a smile on your face of any guest with even a tiny empty spot inside their stomach, Dixie Crystal Sugar, which was a subsidiary of the Savannah Sugar Refinery, maintains a by-the-piece candy case, a display sure to have the youngsters pressing their noses against the glass as they select from more than 30 varieties of delicious hard candies, candy bars, and caramels. Gross. I don't like caramel.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was the...
No,
the
candy's great. Caramel, not so much.
Oh, man, the more I learn, it's just...
The
I don't
more
really know
George
you.
knows.
Just don't really know you any longer. Anyway, on exhibit as well is the tasty scale model of Cinderella Castle, built completely from cubes of Dixie Crystal Sugar and a collection of rare antique sugar servers dating into the colonial period. The crank telephones, which offer the beauty tips that were mentioned earlier, are an interesting Market House sidelight too. Guests picking up on the line can overhear a humorous turn-of-the-century conversation between a mother and daughter discussing the evils of inflation at a time when ham was going for 9 cents a pound and steak at the scandalous price of 11 cents a pound.
Scandal.
Yes, it is.
Now, another part of the Market House display of good things to eat is made up of delicious jams, because again, everyone wants to bring jams and jellies home.
Yes.
Jams and jellies and preserves from the J.M. Smucker Company. Now, Smucker stocks every kind of spread imaginable, from cool green mint-flavored apple jelly to tangy apricot pineapple preserves. And there are even low-calorie Slenderella jellies for Weight Watchers, huh? That's marketing, guys.
Yes.
Now, you spread it on a steaming biscuit or buttered thickly on a hot golden toast. These confections are a great way to start or finish the day.
Okay, so Smucker's rounds out its stock with jars of ready-mixed peanut butter.
Ugh.
And
Sorry. You knew that one already.
Exactly, I knew it was coming. So, okay, and goober grape jelly for P&J lovers. I'm not going to say what that means. We don't need any more sound effects. They also had rich, thick fruit syrups for ice cream fans, and 6 kinds of lip smacking pickles, ranging from honey sweets to eye squinting dills. All in all, the Market House is a good place to be when that sweet tooth starts to ache. How sweet it is, even if the price of steak today has gone above 11 cents a pound.
Now, the party line that we talked about still exists today, but it's in a different location. It's actually currently in the chapeau as you enter the shop. It's on the right-hand side. I think we used that as a 5-legged goat before.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. There's been a lot of talk and consternation about sponsorships over the past couple years, especially with like Starbucks taking over. So it's good to remember that, Disneyland wouldn't have been built back in the day without the sponsorships, which
Yes.
we've covered that before as well on the show. And, all the different stores pretty much on Main Street were sponsored by different companies.
Like the Maxwell's Hollywood Intimate Apparel Wear shop on Main Street at Disneyland, because everybody loves the Wizard of Bras.
Exactly. I think when people find out about that, it's that first jaw-dropping moment. They're like, what?
Wait a second, you're telling me they sold lingerie at Disneyland? Yes, Johnny, for the first 6 months, they did.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But
If there's actually a cadet out there named Johnny, I was talking directly to you.
I'm sure there's got to be at least one.
There has to be. There has to be.
Maybe two. So, but I think it's great to look back at a different Main Street, a different Walt Disney World altogether, which we do so often because we like to look back at the history of the parks and to really get a good description of the Main Street Market House. You just won't find something like that today.
No.
In any publication. It's here's the latest ride, and you're going to zoom past these shops unless you're stuck in a gift shop for 8 hours each day.
I would love to be able to go back and visit these shops, but until we actually get that working swan boat time machine we've been talking about, we're just going to have to read about it in these Vacationland magazines. So, I mean, this is the next best thing that we have right now.
Yeah. But, if you ever got to visit the Main Street Market House back in its heyday, give us a call on the GOAT line at 424-785-4628. That's 424-785-GOAT. And, tell us that if you visited the market house, and then tell us how awesome Communicore Weekly is.
You don't know what you know till we know you. You just don't know. Here's one little fact we bet you didn't. One little fact we bet you didn't know.
In a 1982 article, Dick Nunes describes the forthcoming Denmark Pavilion. Imagine going into a beautiful natural setting. The food is fantastic in Denmark. You go in and there's a natural ice skating area, porch facades with tables for dining, behind a kitchen. You can sit out, have a drink, and watch an ice show. There'll be skates to rent too.
But no wave machine.
Now we know you.
He's a nerd, he's a geek, but we all like to hear him speak. So listen up to the words from his speech. It's George's Book of the Week.
For this week's Book of the Week, we're actually covering something a little bit different. We are covering 2 comic books.
Yay, picture books.
Yes, one of our fans, Gary, will be very happy with something like this. So, Bamboo Forest Publishing has just released both of the Ward Dizzley's 100% True Life Action Adventure Comics Digest, which will be awarded one of the longest titles that we've covered here. And this is actually done by the world famous Dave Ensign, who I've known for years. Many of the cadets may know him from his alter ego, Hoot Gibson. They hung out with a guy named Chief, and they did a lot of backstage exploring when they were cast members.
Let's just say preserving history instead of backstage.
Yes, preserving history. That's much, much better. Their website, which we will link to, the Mesa Times, is fantastic and has some amazing historical documentary of Horizons and other such places at Walt Disney World. But
yes,
before we go along, so Dave has created a comic book a while ago, kickstarted it, and got a lot of support for it. And Bamboo Forest picked it up and just released the second one as well. And I have to admit, I guess we start off, these are not for kids.
They are most definitely not for kids.
Yeah, these are not for kids. These are for grown-ups. Not much else to say about that, but there you go.
There are adult themes in them and bad words as well. Yeah. But it is all, what's the word I'm looking for? Tastefully done?
Yes, I wanted to be more eloquent than just, these aren't for kids. Okay, so basically what this is Dave has taken one of his talents. He's really good at caricature drawing, creating these fantastically powerful images, and he's distilling how he met Chief and a lot of their explorations of Walt Disney World are documented in these 2 comic books, and it is absolutely a fantastic look at their lives and what they did.
And it's not just, the adventures of Hoot and Chief, really. It's also about some of Hoot's exploits when he worked for the Magic Kingdom and some of the things that he did and some of the people he met. And it's all very hilarious. I mean, Dave he wrote it and he drew everything right down to the fake advertisements that are included in it, like for the Burning Settlers Cabin playset.
Oh gosh, that's right. You could buy your own Burning Settlers playset.
It's hilarious, and that's genius. It comes with the figure of the paw with an arrow dead in his back. I mean, how hilarious is that?
Yeah, and that was a cardboard figure that you could just leave on the ground.
Yes.
And there was a blow up 20,000 a Nautilus that you could get. So you and your friends could play 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, basically, or
things that I want. Let's put it that way.
and so there's like it's like the comic books you remember from your childhood, where there would be one big story, and then there'll be a few other mini stories and some great ads, things you could write away for, that shouldn't exist. Hopefully they don't exist.
They might, and if they do, I'm totally writing away for them.
They might. And it's just, as I sort of said earlier, it's just Dave found his chosen art form, and he can present his stories this way, and I think it's wonderful. The artwork really reminded me a lot of John Kricfalusi, very hard to say his name, of Ren and Stimpy. Very simple figures.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, lots of great color is used, and color is used for emotion and things like that. And I really enjoyed it. I loved them. I loved looking through that and thinking, this is how he experienced Walt Disney World back in probably my guess is the mid 80s.
I think two of the stories were set in like 1986 and like 1985. So yeah, like mid 80s were where they take place.
Yeah, and one of the stories which I thought was really a lot of fun was he goes on a date. And
well, let's not spoil it.
We won't spoil it.
It's hilarious.
He goes on a date, but it's hilarious, and there's a lot of adventures on different rides, and it's really well done. And there's small little one shots like a poster series, Mean Person of the Magic Kingdom, where he talks about a former coworker.
What else? Oh, there was an activity page to like help Hoot and Chief run away, where you cut out the figures and you put your fingers in, so it's like they're running away. Like all the crazy stuff you would see in the back of these old school comic books. He's done a great job of recreating all of it from like start to finish. And I think really hardcore Disney nerds, especially those of us who grew up in going in the 80s and the early 90s, this is something that you need to read. And it's totally worth picking up. I think they're great little relics of, just like we said in the history segment, how we like to look into the past and see how it was. This is another great way to do that, but also laugh at the same time.
Yes, and enjoy some really great artwork and support another one of us.
Yes,
basically, he's a Disney fan, a Disney nerd, Disney fan, just like we are, and he's working through his life story basically. Yeah, and I gotta say, 2 thumbs up to Dave. We really enjoyed it, loved it. Yeah, so head over to bambooforestpublishing.com or Amazon or wherever you like to buy your reading material, and put in Ward Dizzley, Dizzley, Ward Dizzley Comics, and you'll pull them up, and I guarantee you will love them.
What we liked, what we didn't like, gays and the booze, 60-second review.
So here we are again, another 60-second review that is going to stretch out because we have 2 things that we need to review, but they are both Star Wars related, and both of them are fantastic.
Yes.
We will start with the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars special that was just recently released on DVD, and I don't think I can say. Well, let me just start this way. Go get it. That is going to be my review. Just go get it. That's it.
The one of the first big crossovers they did, of course, was with Marvel, and it was so funny. It was so well done. I had incredibly high expectations for this because I still think Phineas and Ferb is the smartest show on television,
without a doubt.
Outside of Community, and well, anyways, yeah. I was going to run into a whole other list of shows, but we will. The music is great. The humor is great. The humor is on so many different levels for all of Phineas and Ferb. So I had incredibly high expectations for the Star Wars thing, and every one of them was met and exceeded.
Did not disappoint whatsoever.
So well done. I mean, the basics of the story is you kind of follow along A New Hope from sort of the side and realize how integral Phineas and Ferb were to making things happen.
Yeah, they like kind of cross paths with the main characters in a lot of ways, but they also don't. It's like its own story at the same time. But yeah, I mean, what was it, like an hour long? I can't even tell you how many times I literally laughed out loud during the course of the entire, because there were so many funny like Star Wars references and pop culture references. Like they really have really smart writers on Phineas and Ferb, and they did an amazing job of really knocking this out of the park.
Yes, they did. The music was great, as always. Very happy pop tunes that you were singing along with before the end of the song. And it was great to see how they mixed all of the regular Phineas and Ferb characters into the Star Wars universe, into various Star Wars characters.
And it all made sense how they, related them to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. I mean, whereas I would hate to live on Tatooine, because it's hot all the time and there's two suns. They loved it because they have an endless summer. You know, is how Phineas and
Fits
Ferb
right with
saw
the
it.
theme.
Fits right with the theme and everything. It was wonderful. In addition to the fantastic, I guess it's probably like 48-minute long episode, there are an additional 7 or 8 Phineas and Ferb episodes on the disc that are not Star Wars related.
Just Phineas and Ferb episodes.
Just Phineas and Ferb episodes that are absolutely wonderful, and they do so much.
You can't go wrong with Phineas and Ferb episodes.
Not at all. So more of them, yay. Very sad the show was canceled. They hit their 100 episodes and they pulled it, but doesn't mean they can't do specials, and doesn't mean we can't take pitchforks to the Disney studios and ask them to make more.
Also, sidebar, it also came, I don't know if all of them will, but it came with a keychain of Perry and Carbonite, and
Yes.
it's currently hanging off my keyring right now because it is awesome and hilarious.
See, I've got mine right here. I haven't, see, it's still in the plastic.
Oh, it's still in the wrapper. Look at you,
haven't
mint
opened it
condition.
yet.
I can get 10 cents for that on eBay.
Well, no, I'm trying to keep it away from my sons.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
The little guy will see it and he'll want it, but then that's why it's over here by my computer. I'm hoping he'll forget about it.
Sneaky.
So yes, so definitely go out and get this one. It is fantastic. You are going to love it.
Yes.
Moving on.
Moving on.
The next one is Clone Wars: The Lost Mission, and
No, I'm sorry. It's Lost Missions.
Lost Missions.
That's
Oh yeah,
what they
Lost Missions itself, and it's sort of 13 more episodes of the Clone Wars that weren't shown on the Cartoon Network.
Yes.
But they were on Netflix, right?
They did put them on Netflix after the show officially. Like, the show had an ending on Cartoon Network, and then it was it. And then they also had these additional episodes. So it still fills out some of the gaps of the Clone Wars series and, you know, some of the things that take place between episode 2 and 3. But it's 13 more episodes of this fantastic show. I don't know if you guys have seen Clone Wars, but it's way better than any of the prequel films.
Yes, it is. I mean, I've been watching with my son since it started, and we started rewatching them on Netflix again, and it was great to pop this Blu-ray in because you really got to see how it went from, oh yeah, these are really good animations, to, holy cow, these are very sophisticated, great computer-generated, you know, cartoons.
Yeah, it definitely
basically
shines on Blu-ray, without a doubt.
Yeah, lots of action, and it was a great way almost for them to tie it up at the end and go, here's how this sort of fades into Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
I mean, it does a good job of also leading directly into Rebels, the new show that's on TV now.
Oh,
which
yes.
is also
Yeah.
fantastic. And better than any of the prequel films. But in addition to the 13 lost episodes, there's also a 16-minute, never-before-seen documentary that takes us behind the scenes of the entire run of the series, which is really cool. And then there's 4 unfinished story reels that are included. And then they have the series, the showrunner, Dave Filoni, I think that's how you pronounce his name, but it shows what he would take to George Lucas before approval, and before they would actually make them into episodes. And it was just really interesting to me to see that process. Like, he has to get the Emperor's, approval before they go on and actually make it, to make sure it fits in with the Star Wars universe. And
Yeah.
I thought it was a neat little addition just to see how involved George Lucas was.
Yeah, it's almost like he came back and took this as another baby or another project.
Yeah.
And one of the neat things was Dave Filoni said George Lucas would not let us storyboard, which was interesting because that was a concept or procedure started by Walt Disney
Yeah.
back in the day, storyboarding, which is an industry standard at this point in time. They basically did all the previs on the computer, which was incredible. And he said, they're just taking it to another level, changing the art form, which really, honestly, is George Lucas's forte.
Technology is great, isn't it?
Is bringing his technology in there and doing it from there. But beside the point, it was really great to see these 13 episodes, to watch him, to see the end of the story arc and see how it leads into Episode 3. And like you said, Jeff, the Rebel show, which is really good.
Yes.
Really
it is.
enjoying it as well.
So both these releases, I'm going to
yes.
say thumbs up for both.
Definitely.
Without
I mean,
doubt.
if I had to choose one, I'd go with Phineas and Ferb.
I would too, but Lost
But-
Missions is also great.
Yes, they are both fantastic. Really urge you guys to get them. So get the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars and the Clone Wars Lost Missions.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Sometimes you might see it, sometimes you don't. Hey, look, what's that? It's a 5-legged goat.
Memento Mori is the new Haunted Mansion themed store at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. Now, the shop is rumored to be the old home of Madame Leota before she left her mortal realm for the regions beyond. But of course, like any good ghost, she still looks in on her former home from time to time. Now, lucky guests who look into a mirror that's on the wall of the shop, they will periodically see her face peering back at them instead of their own. And on the painting of her on one of the other walls, when it comes alive every few minutes due to the black light, you'll actually spot a ghostly black cat that's not there when the light is off. So a couple of weird ghostly things going on in Memento Mori.
Yeah, is this going to be like a mini haunt? Am I going to be too scared to go in there?
You may never step foot in that shop ever. Ever.
And I love the Haunted Mansion. It's, one of my favorite attractions.
But you hate getting scared.
Well, actually, I don't know. I've never been on a haunt.
I'm a real people person, but I hate crowds.
As long as your crowds are manageable.
Yes.
And 4 or 5 of your best friends, and they're all throwing platitudes at you.
And loud and obnoxious as I am?
Well, is that possible? I guess the 2 of us together.
Yeah, we are pretty loud and obnoxious.
That's
Sorry
loud
in
and
advance
obnoxious.
or in retrospect to anyone who's ever encountered us before in person.
Especially together on any tour or anything else or in-park visit
Yeah.
or anything else like that.
We apologize. Sorry. Blanket apology. That covers us for the next 50 years.
I was going to say at least. So, okay, well, before we wrap it up, I just want to remind everybody to please give us a call on the Communicore Weekly Goat line and, tell us something about the show.
Yes.
If you liked it or, something like that. But call us at 424-785-4628 and let us know your thoughts about Communicore Weekly.
Remember, it's our very next episode, so as soon as you hear this, call right away. Jam operators are standing by, so call immediately so we get you on the show.
Yes, we want you guys on the show. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and listening to another episode.
Please leave us a comment. Give us a rating on iTunes. We got another one the other day, which I thought was pretty hilarious. It was very funny.
So we like those. Email us at communicoreweekly@gmail.com.
And of course, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Communicore Weekly.
Gosh, can we do Communicore Wingman Wednesday now?
We may have to, sure. I mean, I do like Ghost Whistle Wednesday. People keep sending us stuff to use for Ghost Whistle Wednesday.
That's true,
Thank you, Jamie. But we may go to Communicore Wingman Wednesday.
Okay, that could be fun.
Pictures of us at bars. That's it.
The bar
I don't go to bars, guys.
I was going to say, the bar will have to be lowered tremendously.
Yeah.
All right, so you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Imaginerding, and he's at Jeff Heimbuck.
And again, give us a call on the Communicore Weekly Hotline at 424-785-4628.
Yes, and do you know the story of how Jeff and George saved the world?
Nope.
Nope? Okay, well, if not, grab your copy of Communicore Weekly the Musical today. You can purchase it on Amazon, CD Baby, or iTunes, or listen for free on Spotify or Google Play.
And of course, visit the Communicore Weekly Communistore. Go to communicoreweekly.com, click on the store link, buy some shirts. We got some fun stuff up there.
Yes, and for Jeff Heimbuck, I'm George Taylor.
And for George Taylor, I'm Jeff Heimbuck. Thanks so much for listening, guys and gals. We'll see you next time on Communicore Weekly, the greatest online show.
The jam on it.